him out of there. Strike three. Yeah, Vogel had to get fired. Stat came on the show cell on Friday. You know, when you leave me, big dog, I'm out here just trying to do my best to make things happen, make it all work. Steven Jackson, 16-year NBA vet, came on the show and said, you can't have a walking triple-double in Russell Westbrook, one of the greatest players of all time in LeBron James, the top 15 scorer of all time in Carmelo Anthony, and not make the playoffs. That's on Frank Vogel, the head coach. Frank Vogel had to be fired. I understand LeBron James should have done more from a roster construction perspective. I fully understand Anthony Davis was not present the majority of the games. I understand Russell Westbrook, per our expectations, let us all down. But Frank Vogel, you got 4 top 75 players. And not top 75 right now. You got 4 top 75 players of all time. LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook. You got 4 top 75 players in the history of James Naismith basketball. And you were an 11th seed? How? Y'all realize LeBron James has never been an 11th seed in his life? First year in LA when he misses the playoffs because of his injuries, 10 seed. His 2 years in Cleveland, rookie year, sophomore year, 9 seed. He's never been an 11 seed in his life. Wow. And Frank Vogel, with 4 top 75 players, you have LeBron James sitting at an 11 seed. Unacceptable. Purely unacceptable. Let's put some things into perspective. Because Frank Vogel, LeBron James made you an NBA champion. He made you an NBA champion. He scratched your back when you couldn't scratch it yourself. So now, Frank Vogel, when it's your time to excel, when it's your time to exceed expectations, when it is your time to go above and beyond and do a favor for LeBron because Anthony Davis couldn't, because Anthony Davis wasn't street clothes, when I need you, Frank Vogel, to excel, you could not do so. Frank Vogel had to get up out of there because even if it wasn't on Frank Vogel, he ain't even got no respect. So you heard the reports, and maybe you didn't hear some of them. They were over the course of
I was on vacation.
You was
beefing with people out there.
And I was stuck in the middle of it, like the taco shell. So while you was on vacation, no, it was on the outside.
You told on yourself. I mean, you ain't trying to fight all that fake tough. Let's hear it. Let's go. Keep going.
While you was on vacation chilling, there were reports that Russell Westbrook was paying no mind to Frank Vogel over the course of the season, that there was some tension.
That's why he played like that.
That Frank Vogel wanted to bench Russ. Russ didn't want to get all that nonsense. Frank Vogel didn't even have the respect of his squad. And I get it. What has he done to earn that respect? He started off in media. That's fine. You can start off in media, but it's not as though he had an NBA championship to his name, because Spoelstra, to my knowledge, started off in media. My defensive coordinator in college, former head coach of the Miami Hurricanes, Manny Diaz, started off in media. I do not mind how you ascend to the coaching ranks, but we all know this. If you weren't a player, you got to earn your stripes a little bit more. If you were a coach that did not play the game, a la the Bill Belichick's of the world, you got to earn your stripes a little bit more. If you weren't a player and you ain't done nothing successfully, you got to earn your stripes a bit more. So Frank Vogel, yeah, I get it. You went to the Eastern Conference Finals a couple times, lost to LeBron James. But now that it was time to earn your stripes, you couldn't do so. You got 4 top 75 players on the squad. You got a LeBron James squad, and you're an 11th seed. You got to go.
You got to go, huh? You got to go. He didn't deserve to be fired, and you know this. He's the scapegoat. Let's just get that out the way. Cliche. He was the scapegoat. As you know, not only in sports, but in business and life, there are times where you got to have someone as the fall guy.
Sure.
Or in today's society, the fall gal. Got to show respect to both sides. Somebody got to fall for this when this is not rising to the expectations. And what happens is they climb as high as they can, but stay as low as they can to grab someone who won't have a bad impact. Let me say it again. You grab as high as you can. Ooh, I'm getting close. Ooh, there go Westbrook. Ooh, Vogel right here. Let me grab him. But then you stay as low as you can, because you can't go up there with LeBron. You can't go up there and grab AD and say, hey, you guys are the fall guys. So let's stay down here. High as I can, but as low as I can to make sure I do what's most important in this moment. Cleanse the palate of this organization, this franchise, and its fan base. He was a scapegoat, bruh, because he's not the problem. You said, you're out of here. You gave me some baseball. Out of here. You want to know what's so funny about that? Frank Vogel went to the plate, and it wasn't an empty count. He went up there There were no balls, and there were already 2 strikes. And he up there, he like, shoot, let me just go up there and give me a little base hit. Let me go up there and just swing at the first thing I see. And they like, you out. He's like, what do you mean? That's just the first pitch. There's like, this the first time you slip up, you out of here. Unfair to the man to be even judged by those expectations. But we know why he's judged by those expectations. You're coaching the Lakers. Did you read the fine print on your letter of intent when you signed it to coach the Lakers? It comes with a different level of scrutiny. But also you're playing with LeBron James, which obviously doesn't help you out in case of failure. But then you look at Frank Vogel in comparison to other coaches out there. And it's interesting, you tell me, did Frank Vogel deserve to be fired when he is a championship coach, doing as well, if not better, than some other championship coaches out there? You want Nick Nurse? Anybody? Oh, it got quiet. Doc Rivers, Rick Carlisle, Paul Westhead, Larry Brown. I got a list here of guys who have won championship and same kind of playoff record, same kind of win percentage, but those guys escape it. Why? Because they escape the scrutiny of the Lakers organization, and they are not coaching LeBron James. You tell me I got 4 top 75 players right now.
Or
yeah. Where your book's at? You give me history right now. You give me history right now. I'm talking present. Those guys, how many of them are now top 75? This moment, this team, these Lakers. Maybe 2 of them. I don't know if you could count AD because of injury. Frank Vogel led the Lakers to a championship. It's been over a decade.
Gotta stop you there. Gotta stop you there.
No. Let me finish this. Let me finish this.
Go ahead.
He led them to a championship since 2010, the last time the Lakers were able to say that. Who came with Frank Vogel? Because it was dark around here before Frank Vogel came. Oh, everyone wants to say before AD came. But didn't Frank Vogel and AD land at the same time? Yeah. Remember those 6 years before it, no playoff appearances? Yeah. So the coincidence is, Frank Vogel comes and AD come and they get a championship. But now, because you want to climb as high as you can, but not that high, you're going to make him the scapegoat.
No, let's correct some lies, some sheer lies that were just told. Frank Vogel did not lead the Lakers to a championship.
Oh, he did?
Frank Vogel rode on the coattails of LeBron James and Anthony Davis to a championship. But by no means did he lead the Lakers to a championship. If we start on that logical fallacy, then we will not end anywhere practical.
Okay.
So let's start there.
Let's start there.
The other thing we have to remember is it is easier to replace a coach than a roster full of players.
Oh, I agree.
For that reason, Lakers move on from Vogel. Because what you could try to do is what you did last year. Let's get rid of KCP. Let's get rid of Caruso. Let's get rid of Kuzma. But it's much easier, instead of trying to get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys, let's just get rid of the coach and see if we can change it up that way. Lakers have tried to make these wholesale exchanges, these whole roster substitutions.
Yeah.
That ain't worked. Yeah. Enough trying to make another wholesale roster substitution. Let's just change the main chef and see what he can do with these ingredients. I don't want to have to go all the way back to Whole Foods and make a completely different run.
Okay.
Man, they said get chicken thighs instead of chicken breasts. I don't want to do all that. Let me just bring in a new chef and see what the chef can do with this cupboard full of ingredients. Because the cupboard do got ingredients. Chef ain't shop for him. Vogel did not shop for him.
Keep going.
But the cupboard got ingredients. Say what you will, but it still does have a Russell Westbrook that averaged 19, 7, and 7. Albeit a 19, 7, and 7 and some losing efforts, but 19, 7, and 7. It still does have a LeBron James who gave you 30 points per game for only the second time in his illustrious career. It still does have a Carmelo Anthony who can come off the bench and give you 13 to 17 points on any given day in any given game. It still does have a cupboard full of talent. I just want to see, can I get a different chef to come in here and try to cook things up? You mentioned Rick Carlisle. I knew of Rick Carlisle's career well because I've been watching the Mavs. Man, Donnie Nelson had the Mavericks cooking. 50 plus, 50 plus, 50 plus, 50 plus, 50 plus. Cupboard was the cupboard.
50 plus, huh?
But Rick Carlisle came in there with these same ingredients. Still had a Dirk Nowitzki. Still had a Jason Terry. Still had a Kid. Still had a Tyson Chandler. Still had relatively the same ingredients, but Carlisle came in with those ingredients and took the Mavericks from a perennial 50-plus winning team to now we're going to go face the Miami Heat with LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and beat the Miami Heat in a 7-game series. So I just want to see what a new chef can do with this ingredients because the cupboard is stocked.
Well, you just saw a new chef, and you didn't like what he cooked, even though he cooked it up very well. Playoffs in 2 of his 3 seasons. But like I said, he went to the plate. It was already an 0-2 count. One swing and miss. One swing and miss. Missed the playoffs this year. You got to go. You want to talk about 50-plus in Dallas. Well, that ain't this, and this ain't that. Young Jeezy, you know he's strapped. So here's the thing. When the last time the Lakers won 50-plus games? Let's do a little trivia, a little fun fact. It wasn't the last coach before him. Wasn't coach before him. That's the point. It was lost, 26 wins, 34 wins, 30. Dog, they were sorry. They missed the playoffs for 6 years. They were sorry. And then all of a sudden you get this new chef, and when he comes his first year, guess what he does? Along with Anthony Davis and leading the same team that couldn't win 50-plus games or couldn't make the playoffs even with LeBron James, led them to a championship. The man didn't deserve to be fired because the Lakers in his 3 years, that includes this 11th seed year, all 3 years, have the 11th best record in the NBA. You know how many teams in the NBA? 30. Better than more than half of the teams, but he's getting fired because of his connection to the Lakers and LeBron James.
I'll tell you why.
But he did not deserve to be fired.
I will tell you why. What we have tried to do a great job of doing over the course of these first 12 minutes is give you all a little bit of basketball with some baseball analogies. So let's stay here.
Stay G.
Yes, Frank Vogel went to the plate, and the count was not in his favor. You already said he had 2 strikes up against him.
Yeah.
But really, here's what it is.
Lakers, LeBron.
Frank Vogel was playing with a LeBron James, and LeBron James, to me, is the illustration or analogy to a corked bat. You remember corked bats in baseball are illegal. I remember I used to love watching Sammy Sosa play. Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, early 2000s. That's when I first fell in love with baseball, at least in video game sake. Yep. But y'all remember, y'all got to go back to 2003. It was June 3rd when Sammy Sosa got caught, boop, corked bat. Cork bat's illegal in baseball. But what a cork bat does, because it's lighter, it gives a batter a greater swing. It allows you to more graciously hit homers, even though they're only supposed to be used in batting practice. LeBron James is that corked bat. So, yes, Frank Vogel, of course, you went to the plate, and we are looking at you differently. But you was playing with a cheat code. LeBron James, 9 finals in 10 years. Mike Brown, 2 60-plus win seasons with LeBron James. I would hope you, Frank Vogel, could get to an NBA Finals with LeBron James, because everybody could.
Oh, really?
Spoelstra could.
Really? The year before?
Ty Lue could.
The year before?
I would hope, Frank Vogel, that you can. So, Sal, obviously I'm going to judge you differently at the plate and judge your results differently at the plate if you are using a cork bat. And I'm going to judge you differently as a coach and judge you differently on the sidelines as a coach if you are playing with a LeBron James. Yes, you ain't got the same leeway as somebody that doesn't have a LeBron James, because just like a batter with a cork bat, we going to see amplified results with a coach with a LeBron James.
Okay, I've reached my limit of baseball examples because I don't even know that much of baseball. Now, let me stop.
Track and field.
Track and field. Here we go. I ain't talking to you. Here's the problem with what you're saying.
What's the problem, big dog?
We had a recent example. A precedent was set with LeBron James the year before Frank Vogel got there. Remember, Frank Vogel is in culinary school. As you say, he's the chef. I'm the chef in waiting. Here I go. I'm about to be the Lakers coach. Oh, I love it. Damn, LeBron, you didn't make the playoffs. Damn, LeBron, you got hurt. And you only got hurt because you was trying to do too much, because that team wasn't built for y'all to get over the hump. Now, I come in, coincidentally, thank God. AD comes in as well. This is the same franchise that had missed the playoffs for 6 straight years. The same franchise that didn't win over 37 games for 6 straight years. And y'all gonna try and blame the chef as soon as I get here, because I heard y'all. What did Frank Vogel do to deserve to even be the Lakers head coach? All he did was take that nasty meat that y'all had in the fridge that was sitting there too long and made magic with it. Yeah, AD chipped in. Yeah, LeBron became LeBron once again. But don't act like LeBron, before Frank Vogel, didn't start to show you signs of maybe LeBron's not always a corked bat. Just be real about that. Here's another thing you got to respect.
Signs he showed you, big dog, because now you're talking a little crazy now.
Oh, no, I'm not talking crazy.
He showed you,
well, he showed me the same sign then that also he showed now, which is this is the first time, this era, Lakers era, where LeBron James has been hurt. Like, there have been more than one occasion where you're like, damn, LeBron tapping. Father Time is undefeated. So in that respect, you got to start looking at other factors. Frank Vogel comes in with a Russell Westbrook that comes in bigger and better than, look at your face, bigger and better than you thought he was going to be. And that was from hell on. You thought he was going to be big and bad. Then you realize this dude is not exactly as advertised. Then you get Carmelo Anthony, who is playing well, but Carmelo Anthony's on the downside.
Of course.
LeBron, by injuries, is on the downside. By production, he's not. He's still LeBron James. AD, I don't know what side he's on because he's never on the court long enough for you to say that. You add all of that up, why is Frank Vogel being fired? It's just this simple. He was at the front of the class when one student wasn't in there, one student was cutting up, another one, when he showed up, he just wanted to get all the answers on the test, but then wasn't always reliable. Can't blame Frank for that class. Bro.
But one thing, Sel, let's go bird's eye view, because I'm loving this conversation, as I hope you at home are too. Bird's eye view. Frank Vogel is the most unsuccessful coach with LeBron James during a tenure this long, given the career in which LeBron is and the stage of where LeBron is.
Why?
Because Eric Spoelstra, you saw what he did with Bron. Ty Lue, regardless of what happened, Ty Lue still got his. LeBron got to coach up out of there and got Ty Lue up in there after just a year and change. Now, you could go back to Mike Brown. You could go back to 08, 09, if you will. But even Mike Brown had a LeBron James team with Boobie Gibson, had a LeBron James team with Zildjiūnas Ilgauskas. He didn't have this same type of LeBron nor this same type of team.
Yeah.
So of all the coaches that have had the privilege of touching the hem of LeBron James' garment, all the coaches that have had just that one privilege, LeBron, if I can just touch the hem of your garment, Frank Vogel ain't had nearly as much success as the others.
Really?
So for that reason, it's simple. Is Frank Vogel making this Lakers team better? I can't say that he is, because this Lakers team is an 11 seed. How much worse can you get? So is Frank Vogel making this Lakers team better? No. If the answer to that question is no, which it clearly is, cut ties with him, big dog.
No, I mean, look.
What do you have to lose?
I tell you what you have to lose.
Be a 12 seed?
I tell you what you have to lose. See, that's not perspective. You said we're going to go big picture.
Yes, sir.
Then you went little picture. You went this year.
Okay.
Let's go his entire tenure, his 3 years here. When he grabbed the baton from Luke Walton, guess what the Lakers were? 30th in terms of their win-loss record in the last 6 years. I keep going to that because you guys have to understand how bad, how sorry the Lakers were. The worst, I'm not saying 29th, I'm saying the worst team in the NBA for 6 straight years collectively was the Los Angeles Lakers. Frank Vogel, at his worst, took the Los Angeles Lakers to the 11th best team in the NBA on the Western Conference. You caught that? Okay. But look, he took them from 30th to where they are 11th seed, right? But in overall record, they're 11th. 30th overall record before me, 11th right now with a championship, just like Ty Lue. Why is everyone looking at him? Because you know why? Because he's next to LeBron James. And, of course, you can't strike down LeBron James, especially after the season he had in large part. Frank Vogel became the scapegoat. We know how it goes. That's what you sign up for. But, damn, check the signature, man. You might have got the wrong name. Coming up,